There are still traces of the beacon visible on him. There's dry blood crusted along his ribs and streaks of dirt caught in the curves of his collarbone. You help him ease out of his shirt, cautiously, as though you might hurt him by touching. You help him ease out of his shirt. You're careful not to bump into any of his injuries. He winces when he lifts his arm. The fabric drags across the bandages. The cloth wrap underneath is blotched through and is clinging damply to his skin. You tend to the smaller injuries first. There are punctured holes in his shoulder from the bite along several scrapes and bruises all over his body. It's a miracle that there is no broken bones with how beaten and battered his body looks. Onto the big one. You work slowly to unwind the layers, one by one next, because the pills weigh reluctantly, tacky with dried blood. Austin exhales sharply through his teeth as the last strip comes free, exposing his raw, stitched wounds to the open air. You hadn't seen it at all, till now your heart sinks. Now that you've gotten a good view, the diagonal gash cutting across his side was clearly something meant to end him. The skin around it is mostly purple and yellow, with deeper bruises than the ones on the rest of his body, stained with the rusty orange haze of iodine. It's the hospital staff painted on before surgery. For a second, all you can do is stare, your stomach drop with the realization of how close you came to losing him, of how much he has trusted you to be here like this. You feel the weight of that trust heavy on your shoulders. Whatever it takes, you have to help him. You kneel beside the bed, waiting another square pause with saline. The sting of the air makes Austin twitch before it even touches him. Sorry, it feels weird. His voice is rough. You're okay, just breathe. I'll go slow. You clean carefully, working along the edges. Austin grips the blankets in his fist. With the gauze brushes too close to the stitches. You pat the area dry, covered with the fresh dressing, and wrap a clean bonnet snug around his torso. You'll need to redo it again tomorrow. When you lean back, you catch him staring past you, unfocused at first, then his gaze fixed on the kitchen doorway behind you. You hungry? That engine of food. His position straightens a little. Yeah, I think so. I'll check what's in the fridge. Sit tight. You wash your hands and return the first to its spot. There's enough stuff in here to make eggs for breakfast and sandwich for lunch. I'll have to figure something else out for dinner, though. You take eggs and butter out of the fridge. You pop 2 slices of bread in the toaster and start cooking the eggs for Austin, what are you doing up? You shouldn't move much. I'm fine, don't let me distract you. Okay. Look the eggs over easy and put them on a plate alongside with the toasted bread. You bring the plates to the couch, handing one carefully to Austin. It's nothing fancy, eggs with toast, with a sprinkle of salt and pepper and some butter, but it smells good and you're hoping it'll get something into him. He doesn't say much. He looks at the food for a moment, then picks at it half-heartedly. You okay if I put something on it? Just, not sit in silence. That's fine. Scroll through a few channels until pause on a newscast In a news broadcast, the screen flashes bright orange showing a construction zone with sirens wailing. The TV reporter woman is standing in between some half-finished buildings with concrete pillars and rebar, talking about how work has been halted due to issues with contamination runoff near the site. Oh, sorry. Cheers. You fumble before the remote and flip it again. Austin sits there, expression unreadable. You finally stop on the cooking show. There's a clatter of dishes and some laughing. The food looks way better than the eggs and toast you made, and you nearly drool at the sight. Austin turns towards the screen, but his eyes look like you're looking through it rather than at what's playing. You quickly finish your meal. You glance down at Austin's plate. He's only taken a few bites, or maybe he's picked it apart and moved it around. You can't tell. You push down the nagging feeling that maybe leaving him in the hospital might have been the better thing to do for his sake. Were you not feeling eggs this morning? He better eat that shiz. Wasting food. I guess not. Wasting food. You take his plate from him and turn yours to the sink. You grab his barely touched food up and slide it into the fridge in case he wants it later. You're trying not to think too hard about how much he is not eating. So, what do you want to do? We could watch something. We could set up the game as you're feeling up to it. For a second he stares. You almost repeat yourself, then his lips move slow, like he's parsing every syllable. Game. He sounds sure. Alright, game it is. You boot up the console and pop in the disc. A few seconds later, the title screen pops up and the game theme song fills the room. Austin been hyping up this one for weeks now. You offer him the controller. He shrugs it and takes. His fingers are slow and clumsy on the buttons. It takes him a minute to navigate to his save file. He misses every quick time prompt, gets stuck in corners, walls his character into a wall and keeps going. You can't help yourself. Here, let me. He reaches for the controller and grabs it out of his hand, thinking you make the character walk forward seconds before you realize. Sorry, didn't mean to hear you take it back. Weston blinks at you. He doesn't take the controller back. Honestly, I'm not really feeling this. I'm tired. Oh, I see. Want to lie down then? He nods. Vaguely. You start to get up to help him, but he waves his hand, dismissing you. You sit back down and watch him shuffle off to the bedroom without another word. His steps are unsteady, and his shoulders are hunched forward like gravity is weighing heavier on him than the rest of the room. You stare at the pulsing screen for a while, then, sighing, you start a new save file. It's been a few hours. Maybe Austin is fighting hungry enough. There's so much stuff in the fridge. Maybe he'd take to that better. You put together roast beef and cheese on white bread, something simple. You also grab the prescription bottle from the counter, shaking it gently before stuffing it in your pocket. You also fill a glass of water and carry it in the food to Austin's room. He's awake, sitting propped, but with the covers twisted around his legs. His skin still looks pale and a little waxy. I thought you might be hungry. You hand him the plate. He looks at it with the same disinterested glance from earlier, but this time he pulls the sandwich apart and takes a slice of roast beef off. He takes small bites, chewing each mouthful carefully. The bread and cheese sit untouched. He hands you the plate. When he's done, the barely eaten meal feels wrong, but you don't say anything. He ate more than he did for breakfast. So I'll consider this a win. Oh, right. You pull the medication from your jacket pocket. The doctor said to take it with the food. Sure, probably. I'll take it later. His voice is soft and detached. You hesitate. Fingers wrapped tightly around the bottle. You nod and back off. He's an adult. He can take the medication when he's ready. Okay, just let me know. You set the antibiotics on the nightstand beside him and leave them there. You don't want to push. You're not here to control. You're trying to help. So about dinner, you don't really have much around in the fridge. I was thinking about picking something up or making something. Have anything in mind? He shakes his head. You lost a lot of blood. Red meat might help. And then snap towards you. His eyes are starting to become brighter than they were a minute ago. Yeah, steak. Sounds good. You are relieved at the enthusiasm. After all day, his food around. He seems interested. I'll get some broccoli and potatoes to go with it to the store and stock up on some food for the week. The steak while I'm there, I'll be back soon. Before leaving, you grab Austin's dirty clothes from the bag the nurse gave you the night he left to the hospital. You start a load of laundry in the laundry room on the first floor. You need to throw them in the dryer when you get back. Hello? Hey, y'all, what's poppin'? Oh, this the store? Oh, we got cheese, we got cake. The milk bread. We got cupcakes. What up, y'all? Pick up potatoes. Since I skipped work all weekend, we can only have Austin steak. I cannot only afford Austin steak. I can survive off ramen. I need to go pick it up before I leave. Store. Looks like that's everything. Time to check out at the register. Just those for today? Yes, that's everything. Thanks. Time to go back to Austin's place and cook. You head back to Austin's apartment. It's the laundry room. You go in to move Austin's clothes to the dryer, but when you go in, Austin's clothes are already dried and folded neatly on the top of the dryer. It seems like someone else's clothing is spinning in the dryer. Maybe the landlord's. Or that weird neighbor guy. The living room is dim light, filters through with orange stripes, spilling across the couch. You see Austin hunched forward, elbows on his knees. He really shouldn't be moving around without help with the movement. In the moment he hears the bed crinkle, his head lifts slightly. You sigh and start unloading the meat, is written heavy and bone in. You put the freshest washcloth on top of the microwave. You'll move it after dinner. I got steak, broccoli, and potatoes, and some stuff that should be good for at least a week. I tried to grab a cut that looked like it had the most marbling. Hopefully it's good. You look in the bottom of the cabinet for cookware. There's a cutting board and there's a pan. When you stand back up, cutting board in hand, you notice Austin standing in the kitchen. You put the pan on the stove and lay the cutting board on the counter. You carefully lay the meat on top. Did you want to help cook or something? Nah, just watching. It's too big to cook it evenly in the way it is, not with the dull little pan Austin keeps under the sink anyway. Okay, well, how do you want it cooked? Medium rare, maybe. That used to be your thing, right? Sure. You grab one of the only kitchen knives. You grab one of the only kitchen knives that Austin has in his apartment. It's not really meant for this sort of job, but it should do the trick. It's thin, serrated, and slightly bent near the handle. You brace the steak with one hand and presses the blade down. The meat resists for a moment. It slicks and cold beneath your fingers. The knife slips, and you feel the sting across your fingers. The bloom of warmth. The blood oozes up quickly. Your teeth as blood spilling down your hand and splatters onto the cutting board, onto the steak. Shiz. The cut isn't deep, but his messy blood smears into the raw meat, thin lines streaking across the marbled red. You reach for a towel and squeeze the wound shut as you try to stem the bleeding. It's fine. I should throw the steak out. You glance up. His eyes are fixed on your hand. Blood on raw meat. It's kind of a problem. It'll cook off. I don't mind. His voice is quieter than usual, but it carries certainty about it that You hadn't heard at all today. You hesitate, you grew up around the hospital talk, and you knew a thing or two about infections, risk and cross-contaminations. I could make something else. I could run back to the store. You sigh and reach your hand under the cold water, and then quickly grab it around some cigars Mom gave you last night. Your eyes flip between your hand and the steak. It is really fine. Maybe you're overthinking it. You pat the meat dry with paper towels, wiping away the fresh blood that wasn't already there. You don't want to try again with the same knife, but none of the other knives in the kitchen will do. Your mind wanders back to the day of the scrapyard, and you remember that you put the knife in your bill. You grab the hunting knife out of your bag and take it out of the sheath. To your relief, the knife slices through the meat as if it were melted butter. You cut it down to size. Searing the outside should be fine, right? Right. It's not like you're eating it raw. You aren't fully convinced, but you keep moving. Like pan at old steak sizzles loudly and spits where the blood lingers. You clean the knife and return to your bag and finish the broccoli and potatoes while it cooks, adding a little salt and pepper out of habit. When it's ready, you plate everything carefully and bring it to the table. Austin sits down without a word. You sit down at the table with your microwave noodles. We got some ramen. The moment the plate touches the table, he digs in unlike earlier. This morning, there's no hesitation. His knife and fork moving fast and methodical. The steak disappears bite by bite. He devours it. He licks his fork, drags his thumb through the juices, sucks it clean. Eat that broccoli. Eat that potato. The vegetables go mostly untouched. He nudges the potatoes and then barely looks at the broccoli. Then after the last bite of meat, it's gone. Austin leans back in his chair. His shoulders ease like a knot finally untangled. You wasted food. Eat that shits. He exhales through his nose and looks at you warmly. Thanks. This was actually really good. I feel better. A lot better. Thank you, Raleigh. I mean it seriously. I swear you spoiled me. Good, I'm glad. You can see the difference in his eyes are brighter and more focused. The gray pallor that clung to his skin the morning seemed to mostly faded. There's colors in his face. Again, he looks alive. You can help but feel a sense of accomplishment at the shift of his demeanor. You got him fed. You made this better for the first time in days. Something worked, and it worked because you stayed, because you pushed through. You can take care of him. You can do this. For a moment, it's like nothing ever happened. His voice, the lazy grin tugged at his mouth. It's like it used to be. You smiled back before you even realized it. The unease that had been blowing at your chest lightens. This is what you've been waiting for. You watch as Austin wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. Aside from the vegetables, the plate in front of him is spotless. You wasted food, ninja. Beat your ass. Eat the vegetables. Oh yes, you need to take an antibiotic with your meal. The doctor seemed pretty serious about it. It is still next to your bed. Eat the vegetables. I'm saying, eat the vegetables. Yeah, sure. It's in there. I'll take it once I go back to my room. Eat that starch. Eat that starch. Okay. He stands more steady on his feet now. I'm feeling much better than earlier. Want to try and take another stab at beating the boss? You gonna stick around to watch, or are you gonna head home? I think I'll stick around. You've been talking about how much you've been waiting to finish the game. I can't miss the grand finale. Austin's fingers move swiftly on the controller, like it's second nature to him. The uncertainty of the buttons pressed from earlier, and the day had completely vanished. It was like everything was back to normal. He maneuvers his character to left, narrow dodge the attack from the boss enemy. He had the characters do a roll to the right and swing down his sword. Yes! Austin nearly throws the controller from excitement. The boss lets out a low groan and then collapses before the player triumphs. Music begins to play. It feels so good to have it done. I feel like I can rest now. Easy now. He gets up and stretches. I feel so much better right now. They hit the spot. With that, time to hit the hay. Thanks, Rye. I couldn't have gotten through today without you. He smiles again. You go to the sink and wash everything. You focus on the second sound of the running water, trying to drown out the sense of unease you feel. You rewrap your hand with fresh gauze. When you're done, careful not to look too long at the wound. The blood's dried on the towel. You rinse it out as best as you can and hang it to dry. You clean the counter, sweep up a bit, and wipe down the stovetop, even though you barely used it. You're not sure of the last time Austin did it, so you might as well. You trying to call him dirty? You trying to call him dirty? By the time you check the clock again, it's already time to go to bed. The sun has dipped before the skyline. You could stay here again tonight to be close in case he needs anything, or maybe you should go home and give him some space. You could shower and get some restful sleep in your bed. Okay. I shouldn't disturb him while he's sleeping. Bilski! Austin's close. I'll move these later. You can sleep here on the couch, or you can go home, sleep in your own bed. night, Bay. I see you tomorrow, Bay. I'm going home. No, let me go home. He up. He moving around. He good. Yes, go home. Yeah, he will be alright overnight. Let's bounce. Let's go home. Let me get up in the shower. Yes. You take a shower if it was refreshing. Why you still got the tomato out and the cabbage? Are those dirty dishes? You don't have time to clean the dishes. Nah, you live in foul. It's nasty. It's nasty. Your bed will close you with open arms. You sleep. 3 pounds on your windshield. Your whispers can barely keep up. The heaters blowing stale, lukewarm air in Austin slumps. In the passenger seat, soaked to the skin. The rain did nothing to wash away the stench of beer and smoke. Split, and his nickels are scraped. His eyes are glassy and unfocused. You came. His voice is thick and slurred. It's barely louder than rumble of the engine. I didn't think you'd come. I thought you maybe hated me for real this time. I almost did. It's a sad. I didn't start anything. Well, I kind of did. I I caught Ryan a prick. He got in my face, and then uh, it all went south. He lifts his hand, gestures vaguely at the air. He smokes weakly, then glances when the split in his lip pulls. He goes silent. So stupid, man. Always have been. I do dumb shiz. Say stuff I don't mean. Though it's only me that gets hurt. Turns out he exhales. Then out. I was wrong. You glance over his head, mistaking stuff for the class. I don't mean to hurt you. I don't think. I go then. She is already broken. Your throat is tight. You need to tell him it's fine, but that's not the whole truth. He does hurt you sometimes without meaning to. I'm sorry too. You stare straight ahead at the glow of a stoplight leading into the rain. For hovering, for needing. You need to need me. There's a heavy silence between the two of you. You have a better friend than me. Someone who doesn't screw everything up. Someone who doesn't drag you into all this mess. He gives you a weak smile. But you're here. You always come in. I don't know why. Maybe it's how we are. Maybe we just accept it. He rubs his face, trying to get the blood off his lip. Yeah, maybe we have. My place. Yeah, if that's cool. Rain thrums on the roof. You drive in silence. You know you will be sleeping on the couch tonight. It may be always on nights like this, but for now it doesn't matter. You wake up, you should go check Austin. Or your bed sheets. Why you not sleeping in your bed sheets? You ain't gonna eat no breakfast. Brush your teeth. How about them dishes? Won't you get those before you leave? You shoulder your canvas backpack and head out. You drive to Austin's, climb the 5 flights of stairs, and enter his apartment using the spare key. Austin! You reach the door handle. You hear a crash on the other side of the door. You hurriedly rush in to see what happened. In the center of the room, sprawled on the floor, is Austin buried in books and papers and dust. You rush over to his side as you place your hand gently on him to help him up. He groans. Austin, hey, hey! Maybe he wanted to get out of bed and tripped. You looked around and noticed that objects on the floor were items from his bookshelf. It looks like he had tried to catch himself, but fell anyway, where everything had been flung. You were surprised that the whole bookshelf had it toppled over. In any case, it wasn't the time to scold him about walking around. Let's get you out of this mess. We'll replace your bandages out in the living room where it's a little less messy. Yeah? Clean up in here afterwards. You reach your hand out. Austin looks at it for a few seconds, his hazy expression on his face before his eyes focus a bit more, and he reaches towards you. You get him under his arm. He groans again and clumsily finds his feet. His body is clammy, but steady enough for the both of you hobbled over to the couch in the living room. You set him down on the couch. A quick once over of his body tells you that he fell. Didn't get him too bad, but you can't be sure until you get a look under the bandages. There was a possibility some of the stitches opened up, or maybe he bruised himself somewhere. You head to the bathroom to get the first aid kit, and Zealli and quickly return to Austin. Before you start, Austin speaks up and must succumb, tending to someone's wound for spring break instead of kicking back at home. He gets a small smile, but it doesn't reach his eyes. Honestly, the whole situation is a mess. Sure, it's a lot, but if it's for you, I can do it. You click open the box and pull the supplies out. We went through this yesterday, so you know the drill. Austin hesitates and sighs. He reaches his arms up slowly and pulls the shirt over his head. His skin is still pale and marred by bruises that are yellowing around the edges and less severe scrapes and cuts already scabbing over. You go to peel one of the small strips of bandages from his collarbone and freeze. Rash and angry scratches crisscross around his neck. No way you missed those before. What the H, Austin? Did you? He blinks looks at you confused. Your neck. These weren't here yesterday. Did you get these in the fall? Or did you scratch at your neck at some point? Austin cranes his neck, fingers squeezing the red raised streaks. He shrugs. I don't know. Doesn't hurt though. Maybe he did. In his sleep, maybe he had been bitten by bugs, causing him to scratch at the bite. If it's not bothering him, I shouldn't press the issue. You swallow down your anxiety. Your stomach churns with unease. You continue where you left off and work your way through the bandaged wounds on his shoulder and arm. You make quick work of it and take mental notes of the state of everything. Honestly, everything looks like it is healing up nicely. And then do the big one. Same as the day before, you unwind the cloth, grab to get the gauze, and sits in silent face, neutral as you undo each loop. Alright, pulling off the gauze now. You pinch on the gauze and pull gently at the layers to reveal the large gash across his torso. To your relief, you don't see anything bleeding, and with that, the ball of tension that had been winding tight in your chest unraveled all at once. You hadn't realized you were holding your breath until now. The fall didn't hurt him. The wound looked brutal and angry yesterday, like it would tear open again if so much has brought it wrong. As bruised wrong today, it looks almost tame. You use fresh saline-soaked gauze to clean the wound. Austin's face remains stoic with each stab. You can see red ridges already forming at the edges of the wound where the stitches held the torn open flesh together. Scar tissue was already starting to form.